scene, and I know you're quite a ways from where this happened, Karen, but again, for any of our viewers who might just be joining us, bring us up to speed on what we know.
Okay, Kelsey, yeah, sure. What we know so far is that 2 Burnsville police officers have been shot and killed. A firefighter paramedic also shot and killed. And it looks like several other Burnsville police officers were shot and injured. Now, you mentioned this was a domestic situation and that they are often some of the most dangerous situations that police officers can encounter. Important to note that that's because they're usually so emotionally charged. They are so intense, and it sometimes can result in people making decisions that they wouldn't otherwise make if things were calm. Of course, this domestic situation turned out to just ended in a horrific way, with the officers responding being shot and killed. It sounds like the suspects started firing at the officers when this happened. This happening before 6 o'clock this morning. And there has been, since that time, I started getting calls and emails and texts this morning. I'd say around, gosh, it was 7 o'clock, my phone rang, and letting me know what was happening. And since that time, there's just been an incredible outpouring of support from various police departments. I think that's important to mention because the police community is so big and so supportive. We've got Egan out here. I've seen Apple Valley, South St. Paul, a lot of different departments coming in here to lend a hand in any way possible to help secure the scene or deal with the scene, while the Burnsville Police Department tries to console and help their own officers who are no doubt just distraught over the situation. And then it's not only the officers, of course, it's their families that are impacted and no doubt terrified that this could happen on a Sunday morning. As we know, it can happen anywhere, but we're in a suburb of Minneapolis here in Burnsville. It's just been a very awful morning. There's no other way to describe it. And a procession is going to be underway, and that police community that I mentioned, that typically will line the streets all the way from the hospital to the medical examiner's office, where those 2 bodies will be taken, again, from the hospital to the ME's office. As for the paramedic, we don't have a lot of information yet about the paramedic and the situation with him and his colleagues, or her and her colleagues. Not sure which it is just yet, but we are working to get that information. We will be out here all day long bringing you information as much as we can as soon as it becomes available. But again, I'll just point out this SWAT vehicle behind me with about the 6 bullet holes in it, kind of giving viewers an idea of what this must have been like for the officers that were out here. Just terrifying, if this domestic situation ending in a hail of gunfire. So we'll continue to keep you posted of any developments. We do expect a news conference later in the day, and we'll certainly be there for that and as the night goes on as well. For now, we'll send it back to you.
Karen, I know you're still quite a ways from the scene, and you may not know this, but I'm just curious, can you tell if they evacuated the neighborhood around the scene, or if they're letting people, neighbors in and out?
I would say out, but not in. I've seen a couple of people go by who appear to be maybe residents who live down the street. But I will tell you, well, there's an Amazon Prime truck that's going in right now. So maybe they are letting some folks near or up the street a little bit, but no doubt probably keeping them back from the house in question, again, which is just up and over that hill there. So I would say here's another what appears to be a resident leaving. So somewhat, it's not really busy, but I would say they're letting some people come and go from their homes at this point. But again, I have no doubt that there's still just a ton of officers on scene, along with families of those officers who are arriving on scene here to learn, no doubt, from administrators exactly what's happened, not only to their loved ones, but, that have been killed, but those that might still be in the hospital.
Karen, I know you're monitoring as many sources as you can. Can you tell us anything that you've gathered recently about the actual family that was apparently inside that home where the call came from?
From what I know about the family is I've heard there were as many as 7 children inside that home, along with a mom. I have heard they are not injured by gunfire. I don't know if they were injured in any other way, but they were not injured by gunfire is my understanding at this point. Certainly we've been not made aware in any way that they were injured, but I do understand that it was probably the mom who called 911 and maybe even one of the children was involved in that call, but that is not confirmed at this point, and we'll certainly work on those details. We do expect to hear what happened here as the day goes on.